What's up, everybody? It's FM99 WNOR, Girl Kristin, and I'm here with John Fred, the drummer of Brockstone Cherry.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So we are at the Norva for the Kicking and Screaming Tour and special guest with Nonpoint. We are 3 days in. How are you feeling?
Well, we're great. Obviously, like the Nonpoint guys, we have done so many festivals with them over the years here in the States and just never had the opportunity to really do a full tour. So very excited about that. They're an amazing live band and great guys. So very happy to be doing it. And we've got, like you said, this is the third show. They actually did a radio festival yesterday, so this is actually the only second show we've done with them tonight.
Oh, okay, very
many more to
interesting.
go, though.
Yeah, are you guys getting like a routine with them yet, or because it's the second day, you're still trying to figure out?
Yeah. So we were talking about Shiprock before this interview, and it's a wonderful cruise. If tons of people go on Shiprock, and it's been going since I think 2010 or 11, and we ran into some of the guys on the boat, and they're just great guys. So we've been trying to get this together for a long time. So we're happy to finally be touring together.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know I'm super excited tonight. It's going to be definitely a good show. And we were also, speaking of talking earlier that you've been at the Norva, like this is your second time at the Norva. Last time you heard was like, what, 2007?
Right. So this is the second time we've ever played here. And the first time was in 2007, and we were out with Hinder. And you can't even, it's so long ago, and it doesn't seem that long, but you look back and you're like, man, that was, let's do the math, like 17 will be 10, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's 17 years ago.
Yeah, a long time.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And that's like Hinder's prime time, so I'm sure that was a really good show, too.
Yeah, massive. I mean, blowing up on radio everywhere, and they were gracious enough to take us out with them, and we did a lot of touring together that year, and some more even into 2008. But yeah, it's one of the Norva is such an awesome place, and sometimes you look back and you're like, you come to a place like this and you're like, why has it been so long since we've played there? But it's all good. We're gonna tear it up tonight.
How much has changed from the last time you were here? Like, do you remember any of this backstage area, anything like that?
Well, what's funny is when we were walking up here, I don't remember any of this because I don't even think we had a dressing room at that time. We may have. It may have been, I don't know, downstairs in the bar somewhere. But no, I know it's legendary here, and coming up, I mean, they've got it decorated great, and that's one thing too when you're touring as a band, when you have a venue that has great dressing rooms, and it's also great load in for all the crew guys and stuff, and the hospitality, it makes everything easier during the day.
Yeah, it takes something off your plate, kind of a thing. Yeah,
absolutely. This is definitely a legendary place, and they're sweet as can be here. So great place.
Awesome. Love to hear that. Well, let's talk about the reason why we're all here. Your music. You guys have been around for, 23 years? Something like that? Like 2001?
A minute.
That's so crazy. Can you talk about just from when you first started to now?
So, yeah, I mean, we, going back, way back, Chris, our singer, and I actually went to kindergarten with each other.
Oh, wow.
So we grew up, coloring together, and his dad was a great guitar player. My dad played guitar in the Headhunters. So I mean, it's we had that common bond as kids.
Yeah.
And as we went through school, like elementary school, and then we got into middle school, Chris and I both were in school band. So not many people know this, but he played saxophone for I think a hot minute, and then I was on snare drum. But then when we got into high school, he came over and got into drumline.
Oh.
So we did drumline together for maybe 3 or 4 years there. And Ben, who lives in Barron County, which Chris and I live in Metcalfe County. Counties right next to each other. We met him through a great friend of ours, and we put the band together in 2001. We put it together June the 4th on Chris's 16th birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And we my dad and uncle, as I was saying, playing the Kentucky Headhunters. Yeah. Great southern rock country band that were massive in the late 80s, early 90s. And they're still out there touring today. But my dad and uncle let us use their practice house, which is it's a old shack on my grandparents' farm and that's where the Headhunters grew up playing, and carving all their songs out.
Yeah.
And then when we were teenagers, my dad was like, yeah, y'all can use the house, and I don't think at the time he thought that we would, keep at it and keep doing it. But
he's like, I just gave away my shed.
yeah, and it's an old 2-story bungalow house and out in the middle of nowhere, so we could play music until 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd roll into school like late, dragging, and just so. But that was our life from high school up until about 2004, and we started getting some record label interest, and then we went to New York. We did a couple showcases. They didn't dig it, and went back, and we finally got a deal with Roadrunner Records back in 2005. So we cut the first record, and that's kind of, we've been just, album after album, doing it.
Yeah, that's
out
awesome.
Here doing it, slinging the Blackstone Cherry by.
Would love to hear your experience, because I know back in 2001, like, social media wasn't really a thing. Like,
no.
Back in the day, it was more, funny memes and cat pictures, where now it's like a place for you to put your music out and stuff.
Well, 2001, I don't even know if we had memes
I don't think
yet.
anything was out in 2001.
We had a like, I don't even know what the host site was, but we made a Blackstone Cherry site, and this is funny because we were trying to find a band name, and everybody was throwing names out, and one night Ben and I were at my mom and dad's house, and we were smoking cigars. We were trying to be cool, 15, 16, and there was somebody had a pack of Blackstone cigars, and they were cherry flavored. I mean, those are like,
wow.
You get them at any gas station.
Did we just get the name?
Yeah. And he was looking down, and I was looking down, and we were like, man, that's pretty cool. And I think Ben was like, why don't we just run it all together? So that night we made a website, and we told Chris the next day, and he was like, what? It was like, yeah, man, that's the band name.
I love how nonchalant that is too. Like, just putting it together.
It's stuck after 23 years, right? 22 years. So,
yeah. Very cool. Awesome. So, yeah, like you were just talking about with your album, I think this was I have to look at my notes, I'm so sorry, but was your eighth studio album in 2023?
Eighth record.
Yeah, so crazy. I know on that, the special edition of that album, you guys have different songs from Elvis Presley and the Rolling Stones. You're doing covers off of those songs. Is there a special story why you chose those songs or anything like that?
I'm trying to go back. I think those covers were from the Family Tree record, which was in 18. I might be messing that up, but we did a cover of Jumpin' Jack Flash, and what was the other one you said?
The Rolling Stones.
Yeah. We did the Stones cover of Jumpin' Jack Flash, but I don't think we
Elvis Presley. Sorry.
No, we did. What did we do? What Elvis song did we do? Ben is a massive Elvis fan, and we did. Was it Burning Love? Maybe it was Burning Love.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
We did. We did those as like B-sides, and I can't remember if we even released those. Maybe we did. I don't know.
I saw them.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I can't even remember, but we've done so many. We like to do covers. I mean, it's like we've done stuff like, even on the first record, we did the Shapes of Things on that record, and like the third record, Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea, we did Marshall Tucker cover, and of course we covered Adele. We did an Adele song at Download, but I don't think we never recorded it. We just played it live. But we've done a lot of covers over the years, and there's some I know I'm leaving out, but it's fun. It's fun to make your own stuff. Well, off the last record, we did a Tina Turner cover.
Oh, okay.
What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah,
and that was really cool. We were actually, so in 2021 we played the Royal Albert Hall in England.
Yeah,
and that was like, such an honor, because we had wanted to play there for years. I remember we were in a cab going to do a radio promo in like 2007 or 8. That was like 7 was the first year we went to the UK and Europe to tour, and I remember we were in a cab and we were with the radio guy and we were driving by, and Chris said, "Man, is that the Royal Albert Hall?" And the guy we were with at the time, he was like, yeah, and he's like, "We're gonna play that someday." And that guy was like, "Okay." Aww. But we got to play it. It was a monster show. Awesome. We filmed a live DVD for it and record. And we actually, back in 22, we did a premiere in England, right in London, at a older theater. And the night before we got in, we were at the Hard Rock Hotel, and Chris had went up to the room, and some of us were downstairs in the lobby, and that song came on, and I was like, Chris would really tear that up.
Yeah.
Like his vocal and how, such a great singer Tina was, but she had that grit and rasp, and he came back down. I was like, man, what if we did a cover of this? And he was like, all right. So we started working up at sound check, and it made a B-side on the record. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's such a cool story for that too.
Yeah.
A special moment at the concert.
It's cool taking songs that have been monster hits, but maybe have been out of the popular site for a while. And that's what we try to do too. Is anytime we're going to do a cover, we try to find something that hasn't been covered to death. Obviously, but also something that once you hear it, you're like, oh, yeah, man, I remember that song. Or
bring back a little bit more love to it and stuff. Yeah, That's awesome. Love to hear that. Okay, so with that 8th album then that came out in 2023, I'm curious to know if you have a 9th studio album in the works or anything for 2024, 2025.
So Screaming in the Sky came out in 23, and we are starting to work on new stuff today. Actually, we just wrote the guys, and we were at soundcheck, and Ben had a really cool riff, and we spent most of soundcheck working on that. So it's that's the thing. Like you have to write at soundchecks, and you have to with as amazing as technology has come in the recording side of things, like you can do stuff on the back of a bus in a hotel room, and we've done that for years and years. Like, but before we ever had a record deal, and we were still teenagers, we were writing at the practice house, and that was the nucleus. That's where we were at. But obviously now it's like, with albums, the way it was in the past is like you could take 2 to 3 years in between records, and now it's like stuff has to be turned over so quick because I think people's attention spans are shorter. I know mine is, and but we're starting to work on stuff now. So
that's awesome.
Don't know when it'll be out, but we got a new album, and
news is news, so we'll take it. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to move on to a little fun segment I like to call just like get to know you and everything like that. So I'm just going to ask you a series of questions, and you just let me know what your pick is.
Okay.
Cool. So first one, playlist or podcast?
I'm a get in the truck type guy and just turn it on. But my wife and I have 3 little girls, so I don't really. I have Spotify, and I'll listen to that sometimes, but most of the time I am listening to what they want to listen to. So I try putting on, like my wife and I are rock fans, obviously. So like I'll put on like classic stuff. Like we had in the truck the other day, we had like, the Scorpions or Sabbath or, Zeppelin or Skinner. And my kids are just like, Dad,
So they don't have a favorite rock band?
Black Stone Cherry.
Oh,
that's what. And my oldest, she said the other day, like, they're wanting to listen to Dua Lipa and all the pop stuff, and which I love that stuff too. But and I was like, you got to listen to some rock and roll, And she's like, Dad, I just don't like it. Now I'm like, all right. And I'm like, well, I'm like, what, And she said, I mean, I like Black Stone Cherry, but I just don't like the other stuff. So maybe with time, maybe she'll come around too.
Yeah,
so,
maybe.
long-winded answer there. Sorry.
No, that's perfect. All right, pool or beach?
Beach.
Yeah, I feel like given our talk that we just had earlier, that makes sense.
Yep. No, I mean, pools are great, but the beach has that energy to it, that moving water.
For sure.
I'm not a big lake guy.
Yeah.
Just because it's stagnant. I mean, there's some beautiful lakes, but I like the ocean.
Yeah.
That moving energy of water.
I agree with you there. Awesome. Book or movie?
Yeah. So I am a huge book collector. I buy books all the
Love
time.
That.
Like if I can find them at Goodwill or salvage stores or stuff. But I have my toxic trait, I think, is I buy books and I don't have time to read them. And then movies, I love movies. But like going back to my kids the other night, they were like, let's watch something super scary. And I'm like, all right, okay, so let's watch The Haunted Mansion or, like Charlie Brown's Pumpkin Passion. My oldest goes, no, let's watch The Conjuring.
Oh,
and I
gosh.
was like, listen, I was like, that's like that's we need to wait a couple of years.
Yeah.
She's 9.
Yeah.
She'll be 10. And my wife's like, roll it, put it on, see what they think. I'm like, no, we can't do this. This is like they will not sleep in their beds ever. So, but when we do get to watch a movie, it's mostly like what they want to watch.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
become a parent,
That's
you
fair.
don't have any choices.
No choices. Yeah.
No.
Justice League or the Avengers? Think about what your kids would say.
My kids are not super into the into either really, but I'll go Avengers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. PlayStation or Xbox?
So here's the thing. I find so I started out. I was born in '84, so I started out on the original NES.
Yep.
And I collect vintage video games and vintage consoles and stuff.
Oh, very cool.
And I love both. I think there's great things to the Xbox world and the PlayStation world. I'll say this though. This is kind of funny. We went through a time on our bus where N64 GoldenEye was on every single hour.
That game was so fun.
And the amount of screaming and hollering from just all of us. I mean, that was some great times. And that was around like 2006, 7, 8. And then we got I think we got an Xbox 360 and Modern Warfare. Kind of almost broke the band up on a daily.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's some great fun with that. But I didn't I didn't play video games for a long time. I missed out on the Wii, and I got my mom a Wii because she wanted the exercise. The
Wii
thing.
Fit, yeah.
Yeah, and I've got her that in maybe 2009 or 8, and it's still in the package sealed. I told her, I said, I should just send that into a grading company and get it graded because I don't know how many sealed ones are still out there. But
yeah,
but no, I my kids they like playing on the Switch some and stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of an old school gamer, man. I still like Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, everybody's
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next one. Driver or passenger?
Driver.
Yeah.
Absolutely all the time. Yep.
Early bird or night owl?
Both. Out here, night owl.
See that?
when my kids are home from school, during the summer, night owl. I can't get them to go to bed before 11.
Oh my gosh.
But when school's in, it's early bird, getting up at 6. So I like to get up early. It's just that my mind likes to stay awake at night, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're just kind of laying in bed waiting. Yeah.
But I love both. I wish I could be more. Excuse me. I wish I could be on the schedule of a morning person more than a night owl, but
I'm sure it's hard with going on tour.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy when you're up till tonight's actually a really early show. It's 8:45, but 2 nights ago we played at 10:15, and I'm just
oh wow.
Because I've been on the home schedule.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, going back and forth, I'm a little of both.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. All right, last one. City or suburb?
Farm.
That makes sense with everything you just told me.
Yeah,
should have known.
I am a farm boy at heart and always will be. I appreciate the cities, and I love going to cities, especially getting out and walk around and see stuff. But my heart's real country.
Yeah.
So.
Love that. Awesome. Well, that's all I had for you today. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on, and hope everybody comes to the show tonight, has a wonderful time. We'll try to do really good tonight since it's been 17 years or even more.
Crazy. Well, I'm FM99 Girl Kristin, and I'm here with John Fred from Blackstone Cherry.